Welcome to Ethereum Cat Herders meeting 135. This is issue number 407 at ETH Cat Herders PM repo. I thank you all for joining us today because I have some exciting news for the entire team. As of July 11th, ECH, Ethereum Cat Herders, are now a non-profit entity in the United States. We are registered by the name of ECH Institute. So thank you here for all the support that this team has provided us. And we might want to oversee some changes in upcoming days, like there would be some process change, there would be some updates on website. I know George is already working on that side, but I would hope to get these things done sooner rather than later, especially to share the fact that now we are an entity and we can move forward with whatever stable organization should do here, we would be in a position to do. I'm introducing ZK Doof here, whom we all know that he's so far helping us with all the ops work. So he would be helping with most of the ops work from here on, especially on the onboarding side, and also doing some of the tasks. Those are required as for a nonprofit organization. So that is one big news I wanted to share. And then perhaps quickly we can get into the agenda. We could not have the website meeting yesterday, but I see George on the call here today. George, if you would like to begin from the website updates, and then we will see what other changes we are looking for in the upcoming days on the website.
Yeah, sure. So when it comes to the website, there's a PR up in the repo, and pretty much that fixes an issue with the EIPs in consideration. Before it was only displaying like if you go on Petra or Denkun, it would only display the discussion link, and it would actually point to the proposal. That was a quick fix in the actual code, and now you have it where we're able to see the proposal that directs to the proposal, the discussion that points to the Ethereum Magicians discussion chat on that EIP, and if there's an available video link, it also displays the video as well, a link to the video. So that's the main thing that's been done. Next thing that was planned to do was do some stuff when it comes to LTE, where we're looking to update the NFT to essentially make it better in a way where we could like whitelist EIP authors as well as other contributors, I guess, and having it where we can reward them as well as the people who participate on the LTE app and actually pass the quiz and all that. So those are the ECH engineering updates.
Thank you, George, for that. I think one update that we should be expecting on their website like real soon. Now we might want to add the name of our entity on their website, like I don't know, maybe in the footer section, we can perhaps go ahead and add, this is a project by ECH Institute and Corporation. You think doable?
Yeah, sure, we could do that.
Okay, I think that would be good, like first fix, and then we will bring up other changes that we come across. Like I'm still in touch with the legal team to maybe get some kind of disclaimer that needs to be added, or I don't know if cookies, what are the status of that? Like, are we having any kind of cookies? Do we need cookies disclaimer? How do we go about that?
I think we have Google Analytics in there. Or we might have Vercel Analytics. If we don't have one of those, we could add Vercel Analytics and make that pretty quick. Are you also talking about like displaying the accept or decline cookies too?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have that yet. I'll have to look into it.
I think these days that is something important, and we should get consent from the user or viewer of the website. So it will be nice to have that thing added to our website as well. Okay, so 3 things that we would want to add. Analytics, maybe you can check on if Google Analytics already exists, cookies, and a project by ECH Institute. Okay, George, I would need your help with one other thing. I think I mentioned in the last meeting about GitHub Classic project board going away. Could you maybe take a look at it and what is the migration process? Right now we are holding two meetings calendar over there, and I wouldn't want them to get lost. Is there a way we can save it or perhaps migrate? I don't know.
Yeah, I could look into it. I'll see if there's like a way where we could just export that data, and move it over somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay. Sure, Santosh, you want to add something, please?
Yeah, so I was just on the side, I was looking at what are the other requirements needed if the organization is non-profit in US, right? Like it looks like we have to maintain some records of finances, meeting, and other important documents, right? Like is that already planned or we are ready to arrive at it?
I think ZK, you can perhaps provide some update on that.
Yeah, so some of it is pretty self-explanatory once we get the basic infrastructure done. Like we have to file a 990 every year, so that's going to require, some contribution from the legal team and from the finances. But a lot of that will be handled when we have like the payroll system set up. So, a lot of the legal stuff around that will be handled. There is some like transparency and accountability things for when we receive donations that we probably need to get set up. And I will probably need to talk to George about that. I imagine we'll need some kind of database of, people who have provided KYC that have donated to us or organizations that have donated to us. I don't think we'll need to report that because of our classification, but we don't have the final classification yet. So we want to have it just in case. And even if we do get, the public charity classification, we'll want to have it anyway, just to show that we're in compliance. So a lot of these things we're doing just to make sure we're doing all the right steps. So a database, the 990, there's probably something we have to do when we have our accountant to figure out how independent audits work. So, figuring out how our books work is something I don't know yet, and probably will need to talk to Pooja about.
Sure, yeah. Happy to help in any ways if there's a need, yeah.
Sure.
Sounds good, thank you. Yeah, for 501c3 status, we would be applying it shortly and on federal level, and this permission takes time to get in, but at this point of time, we are allowed to continue to do work as a legal entity in the United States. So we'll try to definitely keep everything transparent as much as possible, and we will be getting onboarded with the financial payroll organization
Mm.
maybe by early August. So that should help. Very well. So, okay, we looked into website, L2E. Okay, Project Classic as well. Moving on to the next section, we have ECH podcast. I don't see Akash on the call, but as far as I know, we have, I think, 133. Yeah. So he has shared the update. The PEEP and EEP episode number 133 is upcoming Thursday at 1 p.m. UTC. Twitter post is also ready. So we would be sharing it this Thursday. I think this is up to date. We have covered all the PEEP episodes there. And yeah, today we are supposed to record episode 134. So we will be seeing its recording in the following week. Next one is, okay, I think there was one other thing that I asked ZK to maybe take a look at. ZK, there was some issue with Spotify. Did we get to fix it? Where we are at that?
Yeah, so Spotify now requires that we have our like a Spotify account to log in. So that's been changed over from our email. The Spotify account was just an account that I made using the old email. In terms of permissions, I was able to get Akash to have all the permissions that he needs. I think I might have given him too many permissions, but we'll work through that and figure out if he needed the admin permissions for publishing or not. So I'll do a test with him next time he puts up a podcast. But yeah, that should all have been sorted out now.
Right. I was mostly concerned about like one link that was breaking on our cat herders website.
Yes. So there was that one that did work. It was like Anchor. Then there was the one that didn't work, which was the Pandora. And I went through and did not see Pandora as one that we've already applied to. So I think I just need to go ahead and apply to Pandora. I just don't think we submitted to them yet.
Okay, so this is something that we might want to work in the future that hasn't been established yet. Do you want us to maybe hide that Pandora thing for the time being, or is it something that we can maybe perhaps get it done over a period of time, like a week or two, and we can let it as is?
Yeah, well, let's leave it as is. I don't think it should take too long. Typically the process is quick. I'll try taking a look at it today, and hopefully it'll just be, no problem. Yeah.
One other thing that came up in discussion on our Discord channel was like some interest towards having the all core dev meeting in podcast form. I obviously suggested Ethereum cat herders / podcast like webpage for uploading all those things. Hoping that we can perhaps do it with the help of Anchor, but for that I would need a separate playlist. Do you think this is something that we can achieve, or is it like very complicated and we should not go for it?
So it's not complicated. It's very easy to do. I think this is something that we probably just need to figure out how we want to handle it. I think it makes more sense to make a separate podcast for it, because most podcast apps don't yet have a good implementation for different like playlist type things. So we can have it be a different like season, but a lot of times that doesn't mean anything because Spotify doesn't really do a good implementation of that, and 80+% of our listeners are on Spotify. So, if we have like only one main source that people are listening and a couple others, most of them won't even notice that there's a difference in the season. So what a lot of people do that have like multiple podcasts, typically they just serve as a publisher, and they have like 3 or 4 podcasts under their main account. And that is a little better understood because there's big, podcast companies like Wondery. So they have multiple different podcasts that they run under their main name. So if we just have like ECH podcast as like one podcast. We can even do Peep as another, and any other series that we want to add, we can add. It also makes it easier for us to, in the future, do video podcasts. So like Spotify allows us to upload the video. We could just put the same videos we're putting on YouTube, but we're not doing that currently because it would be a redundant podcast to what we're already uploading.
You think it can be used as a backup, or would
Yeah,
that?
I mean, totally.
Okay, because uploading on LensTube was like not very much cost effective, but if it does not ask us to pay additional money, perhaps we can consider that.
Yeah, it would be the same exact thing. Basically, instead of uploading the, MP4, we'd upload, the whole video and mark it as a video, and it would just show it as a video when you're on Spotify.
Okay, we can discuss that later on, but tell me one thing, like if we want to have, like, the idea here is, if we have one place to go for the entire community to find all the PPNE video and find all the Allcore Dev meetings both audios, that will help people to learn about these EIPs even more than they are learning it today, because we do not have any Allcore Dev audio podcast as such. Is it possible that we, like, as you mentioned, under one head, we can have multiple projects and each project can be PEEP and EEP and Allcore Dev? Will that be the same link? How would it vary? Like, yeah, if you could explain that to me.
Yeah, so when you're on Spotify, right, you would have the idea being we are the publisher, almost like when you're on Spotify and you see the artist for, multiple different albums. Instead of an album, it would be like a podcast, and we would have multiple different podcasts under our general name. So you could go to our Ethereum Cat Herders page and you would see all of our individual podcasts. Different podcast services have different implementations, but most of them are pretty good at saying, here's the podcast, here's the publisher, and if you click on the name of the publisher, here's all of their podcasts. There's a couple that will eventually have issues, but it's I think a better implementation than if we were to just try and have one podcast and upload everything onto it. Because, if we're uploading maybe even every day a different thing, it would just get a little overwhelming. And I don't know if people are going to be as interested in listening to anything if we're just uploading everything onto it.
Sounds good. Maybe we can give it a try with uploading the first audio from the next call. I will have a talk with the protocol support team, and if they are still open to the idea of uploading the audio of this, then we can do that. In that case, I don't know how you would do that, but maybe you can work with George to have that thing added on our Eat Cat Herders /podcast page, so people know that if they want to look for the audio version of Allcore Dev meeting, they can go. The direct link should be provided over there.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. We'll keep this as our future task. We would want to have this at some point. ACD podcast. Very well. Let's move on to the next section, which is Meet the Herders. I don't see Harish on the call, but he has left a comment here as an update that he had a chat with Rory and will be scheduling the interview over the next week. Rory is one of the contributors. He's with EPF, I guess, right now, a protocol fellowship team. Earlier, he worked for ETH Global. He supported the DevCon. And he was also writing and documenting notes for Ethereum Cat Herders at one point of time. So there's a lot of ways to evolve with the Ethereum Cat Herders team. And with the series Meet the Herders, we are trying to just showcase how people are moving from one direction to another. This is kind of first place to learn about Ethereum ecosystem and make your own way where you want to go forward with that. Thank you for update, Harish. The next section is EAPS Insight. I know Kaushal is joining from the EAPS Insight team. Kaushal, if you may be able to provide us updates for the month of July. If you're speaking, Kaushal, you are on mute. We still can't hear you. Let me try to pull out the website and see any updates from there. According to eapsinsight.com, right now we have 5 EIPs in draft, 3 in ERC. There is one proposal in last call. Which is wallet API call, and the last call deadline is July 24th. I have received a few requests from editors in terms of having a chart where we can showcase how many pull requests are merged by different editors or reviewed by different reviewers. So I hope that this team can maybe work in the direction to provide us that chart along with the summary that we are seeing right now on EIPS Insight pages here. It seems like there's some issue with Kaushal's microphone. He mentioned that he'll be coming in 10 minutes. If he's here, we can perhaps receive some more updates. So moving on to the next one is PEEP and EEP. We have organized one PEEP today that is for EIP, which is especially for roll-ups address range. The EIP number is 7587, and it is reserved pre-compiled address range for RIPs with the author Tim Bako. The meeting is scheduled at 18:30 UTC, and this is a special meta EIP for reserving pre-compiled addresses for RIPs, because we all know everything is there for proposals which are being implemented on the Ethereum mainnet, and RIPs are for roll-up proposals. We would learn more about how these two can work together, how we are trying to help out the L2 projects with the Ethereum standards. Other than that, we have scheduled another PEEP and EEP for ETH multi-call or ETH simulate with Oleg and Kilari from the working group working behind the ETH simulate. And we will learn how different client can implement it and what are the use cases for smart contract developers to maybe take a look at. The meeting is scheduled for July 22nd at 1500 UTC. Let me edit the note because here it says 1830, but it is at 1500 UTC. And then we will get some updates from Paritosh, Mario, and Barnabas, the testing team behind Pectra DevNet, and we are expecting this conversation on July 30th. For this week, I think we have released PEEP recorded with Alex Stokes on EIP 2537. It was really interesting to have this conversation with Alex because I remember when we started PEEP and EEP series, EIP 2537 was the third episode that we recorded with Alex Vlasov at the time. There were some changes since episode 3 to episode 133. And it was a great to know that people are still loving it, and I hope they continue loving PEEP and EEP series. The conversation include the specs changes and why we are considering it for the Pectra upgrade now. Please watch it, or maybe you can follow the podcast version of it at ethcathode/podcast. On grants, Octant grant is live. I would need support of everyone. So far, with the help of 4 supporters, we are somewhere over 10 ETH. I'm sharing the link here if anyone is a staker at Project Octant. Please, please, please support us. We need all your support to fundraise here to support working of this entire team. And staking at Octant is really easy. If you are not a staker yet and would want to support some of the public good projects with the rewards that is being earned over there, if you need any kind of support, I think we have recorded multiple episodes with VP Abundance, one of the team members of Octant. Please check out on Ecosystem Project Demo Series. And if you know someone who can support in this round, I would appreciate it.
So will we be tweeting about this? That we are live here?
We should.
Okay.
We should.
Okay.
Yeah, if you could do that, that would be nice. Yeah, I think they have quoted us in their announcement yesterday, I guess. Maybe you can take that one and tweet about it.
I'll do that right.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, so the next thing is WIEP at ECC. I think I have added the link to it. No. So yes, we have the recording of ECC, and following ECC, we also organized a community call by WIEP. We should be expecting the recording of both the meetings going out this week. I think the recording is almost ready. I just have to review it and it should be ready to be shared with the community. Well, thank you everyone who participated on the WIEP call. It was nice to meet all wonderful women from this space. It was nice learning. We saw some new contributors on EIP side. We saw some new contributors to the EIPW bot. And we learned about other options available to make contribution to the Ethereum ecosystem. So if you are new, if you are just thinking from where you can begin, I think WIEP is one of the easy way to enter into the community, and we are going to start the study group cohort 2 from August 2nd week. If you're interested, please reach out. And on the breakout rooms and other updates. Okay, I think I have some updates on this side as well. I have received some requests on documentation of notes for these breakout rooms, especially from account abstraction. So I'm hoping from going forward, we should be documenting notes. I do not have the exact name of the meetings because there are multiple meetings going on. So I will just collect all those names by tomorrow or so I can provide it to the people who are documenting notes. But while we are at, I know we have very few people engaged with documentation of notes, just wondering where are we at? Like, are we in a position to take some more responsibilities? Because the requirement is we need to submit it as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think I have more bandwidth, and also like I told my wife also will be joining, so we should be good to go. Like I can target like between me and my wife about like 24 hours from the video. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely that would be helpful if we can get it within 24 hours. And maybe we can, yeah, I mean, like definitely 24 hours is good for us. Yes, Meenakshi, please go ahead.
Hi. I would also be available if you can provide me as well. Even Razi is also there to help us, so I can also do that within 24 hours.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good job. Maybe I can coordinate with you, and maybe we can put a plan around this. Yeah, that thanks.
That sounds good. I will confirm which all meetings we need to document, because I'm already receiving notes from the developer who are joining those meetings, but there are certain meetings where people are not documenting. So if we need full transcript of those meetings, we'll just make a list of it, and then we'll maybe create a calendar as we have it for rest of the meetings over there. Okay, but please, Santosh, if I forget about it, remind me in a day or two.
Definitely, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. For Prague, we should be learning more about DevNet 2, and that's the latest on it. Most of the developers were busy in the ECC, so we hope to see some more updates in this week. Next, we see list of all other meetings which are going in the ecosystem. People may take a look at it. EdCon, yeah. EdCon is coming up in the month of November. Now they have started accepting application for events and speakers. And I was curious if we can come up with some suggestions for something that cat headers can do. And it would be nice to have most of you here in the meeting. And I'm happy to share that because we have received certain grants from Optimism team and Octane team, we are getting discounted tickets. So please try to be there in the EdCon event. And if we are able to organize something of our own, that would be nice to have a good get together over there. Any thoughts? Yeah, please go ahead.
I was looking at some of the categories that they were talking about. A lot of them are technical, but I think the community category might be something that, you know, Pooja, you can speak to, like turning a group that was pretty disparate into like a proper organization, like, you know, increasing the things we do from just like talking about EIPs and EIP editing to, you know, putting out peep and eeps and everything else. So I think that might be a topic if you want to talk that they might be interested in.
I'm definitely considering something on EIP, but that is like one speaker kind of like, but I would want to have a cat headers day. We might want to think around that, like how we can make it a one full engaged day conversation, inviting some authors, maybe bringing some panels discussion or something like that. If you don't have anything right away, it's all right. But please, everyone, give it a thought and share it with us. I'm definitely interested in making an application for something from our team. If we cannot take off like engaging a full day, we can perhaps apply for half day, like maybe 4 hours or 5 hours booth. Would love to bring some swags around. I don't know. I'm so excited with everything ongoing, with us being a registered entity now. We have a lot of freedom and we would like to make good use of this to have more or the most of the public engagement we can get out of the DEF CON event. So yeah, let me know. That's about DEF CON. We already have seen. Okay, I know there were some talks about staking related content. Maybe we can, I don't know, ZK, if you have added your thoughts, you would want to start it in next few months or so, or maybe the launch during the DEF CON would also be a good idea to have.
Yeah, is this more about the like idea of having a staking event or for the videos?
So maybe we can perhaps record a few videos, maybe one a week, and then we can talk more about it in the event and also promote the series that we would start. If
Yeah.
that makes sense.
We can talk a little bit more about that.
Right. Okay, and under potential ideas, I thought, okay, Santosh. Yeah, you had a suggestion about adding AI tool to our website. I don't know if you get a chance to maybe think more about it. But we should consider that. Yeah, let me know if you have more thoughts. We have George also on the call. If you have any suggestions or implementation ideas for him, to let us know.
Definitely, I'll share some examples with George and we'll take it offline. Probably we'll discuss in the ECH Ops group in the Discord.
All right. Okay, perfect. Very well. Next is Rapcast. Everyone, please start following us on the Rapcast. That is something new that that people are liking it so much. We would love support there. We are trying to make posts of whatever we are sharing on Twitter these days. And I would appreciate everybody's like, share to increase the visibility of the content that we publish on all the social media that we have added over here. Any new suggestions, thoughts on like maybe improving what we are doing right now, or maybe increasing our visibility is very much appreciated. Now we need to think of going even wider. We need to think of engaging more people. We may come up with some internship opportunities, a lot of things that we can do here. And I really sincerely expect a lot of suggestions from you all so we can work on those new thoughts. Well, that's it for today's agenda. If anyone has anything else they would want to like, share, or discuss, propose for the next meeting. Once again, congratulations to everyone for this entity registration. Thank you everyone for joining us here today. I hope to see you around. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Everyone.